My name is Luci Attala and I'm a social anthropologist, so I lecture in anthropology. We find ourselves at a particular point in history, which has now been officially named as the age of the Anthropocene, which is a name that suggests that humans are having an effect on the planet in a way that's never happened before. And that in some ways is the foundational point from which this series grows. In that, what we're trying to do with the series is create a new way of looking at the world and a new analytic, a new way of understanding the world that draws people together with the rest of the material world. So it sees no separation between the materials that form our bodies and the materials that are, say, like water running in a stream. So what we're trying to do is help people understand that the world is comprised of a series of interacting physical substances, of which humans are almost like an assemblage of those integrating, interrelating parts. And as soon as you start to see the world in those terms, you, by definition, must start to think about the world in a different way and how you're going to use those material aspects of the world to benefit life or degrade it, pollute it, cause problems on it, as a planet. So that's really the idea that we're trying to communicate with the series. So we started looking at water, or I did, because that's what I've been working on, how water shapes people and how it shapes their lives. Then we've moved to the next volume, and we've got some more in the pipeline coming along, which we can talk about later. So underpinning all of this is an environmental message, really, a call for people to reconsider what the world is, that it's not for people to use the world, but rather for people to recognise that the water that runs into your body will shape how you can behave. So let me give you an example. The fact that there's a lot of plastic in our water now means that water moves differently. It can't move in the same way that it used to. It needs to spiral, but it tends to run in straight lines now. The fact that it spirals has directly affected the shape of your body. All human bodies have developed with a series of spirals through their veins and their hearts. But what will happen now if plastics are in the water? Plastics in the water that runs through your body will change what your body can do with the water, but equally it changes the way the water can behave in a stream. The stream will run straighter and the water will then flood because it isn't meandering. Meandering works as a way to slow water down, and it can't do that anymore, so it floods the banks. So these are the kinds of small material consequences that become huge material consequences for the world that we're living in now. And I've got to be honest, I feel we're running out of time to react. It's actually becoming quite alarming. So hopefully this series will go some small way to getting people to think, okay, we mustn't treat the water badly, or we must think at least about the consequences of what we're doing, not just to keep humans alive, but to keep the whole ecosystem going.